Toby, Hannah Williams, and where did Sandra go? Sandra Hollins. Those are the three women that make me look good, so I have to make sure I acknowledge them. But like I said, we're so happy to have you here, and I do want to recognize a few people. We do have Brad Mortensen here, the president of Weber State University. Is he here?
He had to leave. He had to go.
And he had to go. We have Jim Taggart, the Ogden Tech College president. Did he have to go too?
They met together.
Well, I do know Nubia Pena is here. Nubia is here, I know that. Special advisor to our governor. So in baseball, I'm getting 333. Figure that out, which isn't too bad. But anyway, it's really my pleasure to have you guys here in Zions Bank Building. And we do have a special guest here today. We have Jorge Fierres, sorry about that, and he's with Latino Leaders magazine, and he's going to take it from here. But again, I just want to say it's really my pleasure here to be with the Salazar family. They're like family to me too, and thank you so much, everyone, you and Andrea.
Thank you very much, and it's my privilege to be here. My name is Jorge Fierres. I recognize the last name doesn't help when the introductions came, but happy to be here. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I flew in this morning, very happy and excited. I love this city, I love this place, this region. I hope one day I will be making businesses here. But for now, it's just a matter of bringing my family to the mountains and ski. And we have enjoyed that for many, many years. And I am very appreciative of this opportunity to come here and make a special announcement. I really want to say thank you to Zions Bank. This is a great reception, great opportunity, great leaders that I have met with today. And you know, our magazine was founded 22 years ago. We are based and headquartered in Dallas, in Texas, but our circulation is nationwide. We circulate in 43 states. Our mission as a publication is to identify leaders from the Hispanic and Latino communities, mainly in business and corporate, but we don't limit ourselves to only that. We always do academia and scientists and entrepreneurs, of course. But our mission is celebrate, interview these leaders, feature them in our publication, in our magazine. And nowadays, with all the different other platforms, digital and social media and all that, they get even more exposed out there. And once in a while, or not once in a while, very frequently, we met leaders that are big enough to not fit completely inside of a page of a magazine, right? So we created an award that is called the Maestro Award for Leadership. And we created this award 15 years ago. And this award has the mission or the focus on identifying those big leaders, those people that have taught with their example and their path and their experience and their lives themselves. That leadership has not only been something for themselves, but also for others. And they have been able to give back, become role models, mentor people, and expand the leadership around them. So it is my privilege that tonight I have come to announce to you and this community that the award for in the category of community service of the Latino Leaders Maestro Award is going to be presented to one of your own leaders and a great leader here and nationwide, but especially in this region, to Mr. Don Salazar. This is a great privilege, and congratulations, Don. I think I just interviewed Don on a little video that we are going to present in the ceremony in which we are going to present the actual award to Don in Miami. This year's in Miami on October the 20th, and I hope some of you can come. It would be great. And we are presenting him the award there, but we just did an interview with him, and believe me, those who don't know him well and in his story, is a fantastic role model and inspiring story. So congratulations again, and well, just say thank you for having me, inviting me in this very warm environment. I just want to now welcome my good friend, Maestro recipient himself, a good advisor for us for many years, Mr. Javier Palomares.
Good evening, everybody. No, come on now, you talk. Good evening, everybody. Don asked me to do this when we decided to put something together to honor him in front of his own folks. As he said, it's one thing to get recognized in DC or in Miami, but it doesn't mean anything to me if I don't have my friends around me and let them know first what has transpired. And as I was thinking about this, I thought, what could I possibly tell you folks about Don Salazar that you don't already know? Some of you have known him longer than either of you will admit. Big deconstruction. He's been a fixture in this community for decades. He's worked and he's lived with all of you and done business with many of you. He's lived a very public life, serving communities not only here in Utah, but throughout this nation. And I think we all know the Don Salazar who's dined with presidents, the one who we've seen with ambassadors and governors and corporate heads of state and corporate titans and presidents and wannabe presidents, former presidents, never going to be presidents, sadly wrong. So what could I possibly tell you guys, and where would I even begin? And then it occurred to me, maybe the best place to begin is where we are right now, and the journey that it took to get here, to this evening. You see, Don is being recognized not for his business acumen, not for his success, not for his influence. He has plenty of that. He's being recognized for his commitment and service to community, the little things that we don't see. Now, he's often told me how he circuitously ended up where he is now. And to hear him tell it, well, anything Don ever says begins with the word bro. So, bro, It turns out that he played college ball, and he dreamed of turning that experience and that love for that sport into his vocation, into his career. And he prayed on it and prayed on it. But that prayer was never answered. Then one day, seemingly out of nowhere, a friend came to him and said, Don, you're good with people. You've played team sports your whole life, and you know how to lead, especially young people, young men. He said, and it turns out there's a youth correction parole officer position open at the state office. Why don't you apply for that? Maybe you get it. And he was newly married, and as any newly married couple, they had to figure out the future and where they were going. And his friend said, maybe that'll help you pay the bills in the time, while you're looking for that big coaching job. So he did, and of course, he got the job. And then in short order, he figured out that he loved that work. But his success was not measured in his ability to generate dollars or profit. His success was measured in his ability to illustrate patience and kindness and compassion. He saw how his efforts helped troubled young men find a better way And he says that he's lost count of the paths that he helped change from wrong to right, and lives that were going into darkness headed into light. And he always says, you know, kind of out of desperation, I chose that job. But I don't believe that. I believe that the job chose him. And thank God for unanswered prayers. Later on, while he's still a parole officer, he's having a conversation with his amazing wife, the boss of bosses, Miss Janet. And he makes an observation in front of her, and he says, you know, I'm meeting a bunch of kids. And it's so sad because these kids they're left out in limbo. They don't have any access to traditional health care. And no one will take these children. And they're little babies of parolees or people in the system, whatever. And at the time, his young wife, Janet, was already very successfully running a couple of daycare centers. And that night, together, they decided that from that day forward, they would take 25% of all the open slots in their daycare centers, and they would provide good health care for children with state assistance, kids who couldn't pay, children of color, and even indigent kids. Now think about the number of lives that were touched that evening and with that decision alone. Again, sometimes I think that you choose the path, and then other times the path chooses you. Now, fast forward to where we are right now, today, and the legacy that CTI has built over the years of helping budding on enterprises get their first start, of mentoring and supporting entrepreneurs, and helping small business owners land their first big contract, providing scholarships, internships, and training for people who truly need the work. And in the process, creating jobs, spurring community development, and building wealth in companies and families. In doing so, Don and CTI, in my opinion, have touched lives yet unborn, not only here in Utah, but throughout this nation. How fitting that CTI's tagline is quality service from quality people. Quality people indeed. Now, as for me and my own personal experience, I can tell you what I've observed firsthand in my 12 years working with Don. I've lost count of the number of things I've learned from him, the number of lessons that he's bestowed upon me. And rarely in word, by the way, but always in deed. I've learned that sometimes the only thing more effective than power is patience. I've learned that in some instances, the most powerful word is the one left unspoken. And I've learned that when one of God's warriors gets down on his knees, it's not the end of the fight, it's the beginning of the fight. And that it's good to make $1, but it's much better to make a difference. Don reminds me of the old adage that the purpose of life is to live a life of purpose. That's the Don Salazar that I know. I also know there's a couple of Salazar boys up in heaven right now, smiling, looking down, and raising a toast to the Don Salazar we all know and love. He's what every boy dreams he'll be when he grows up, and what every man wishes he had been when he grows old. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the podium the recipient of the 2022 Maestro Award for Community Service, my boss, my friend, my brother, Don Salazar.
Oh, I did it again. I have a standing rule, and It started at the United States Hispanic Chamber in DC. I mean, never follow that guy. And I did it again. I mean, geez, what do you do? Anyway, thank you, Javier, for those kind words. You know, I'm flattered and thankful for you and our friendship over the years. And don't let him fool you. He's a pretty sharp character. I've learned a lot from him, and I've learned you can get kicked right in the face and you can get back up and start fighting again. So anyway, okay, come on up. Lena, yeah, come on up. Yeah, come on. You know, grandkids. Come on, Jojo, come on. They wanted to be up here with me, and you know, so how do you say no to these guys? But she was thinking she was going to be on TV. Well, thank you for your friendship. And speaking of friends and acquaintances, wow, I mean, look at this room. It's like a who's who of business owners and top of the food chain professionals that, you know, just happen to be friends of mine and my family. So thank you for being here tonight for this recognition. Believe it or not, all of you are a big part of why I'm up here tonight and deserve to be recognized in your own right. I think we can have anyone come up here and they can certainly give a good story of what they've done in their lives, with their families, and to our community. So, yeah, let's give you guys all a hand, huh? Listen, one of my strong points isn't public speaking, and you know, is illustrated by a lot of you that are here today. And just, how long's your speech going to be, Dawn? Well, I know what you mean. Don't torture us for a long time. So I'll try not to do that. But you know, I'm known as a tough guy. You know, I'm a construction guy. You know, an ex-jock, a parole officer. Well, you guys know the type. So generally, I can take on a lot of things and it doesn't bother me. But, you know, when it comes to family and friends, you know, that it just means so much to me. God, I've already done that, you know. But, damn you, Javier, you get me in that. But, so anyway, I'm gonna preface, if I turn into an emotional wreck, Scott, just come and slug me in the face, would you? Okay, no. So please indulge me if things go south. I'll try and make it. So many people to thank and acknowledge. You know, I'll start off with Zions and Scott Anderson. You know, I'm honored to sit on their board, and what an example of commitment to the community Zions and Scott Anderson has been over the years. I mean, I've known him for probably 20 years, and you know, we talk about all the D&I formatting and you know, the shift to make everything right, and he's been doing it for as long as I've known him. So, you know, he leads by example and has been at the forefront in support of our businesses. And I'm a result of that. I'm an example of what Scott has done, and you know, if I didn't want to break my first rule, I'd give you some of those stories. But thank you, Scott and Zions, for your support in all my endeavors. I've I've brought things to him that he looks at me like I'm asking for gas money. But at the end of the day, he funds that charity, he funds that event, because he knows it's for our community. And of course, you know, you can't forget my buddy, Robert Brendan. You know, when he said, well, I'm like family. Well, no, he's not like family, he is family. He's been with us through thick and thin, and, you know, I've had him go take all the spears for me when I said, listen, here, I got this really cool idea. It's only going to cost $25,000. Go talk to Scott and let me know tomorrow. And so he's been doing that. And Robert, thank you. Thank you for that. You know, I've always thought that awards and the recipient were a result of the work of many. In my case, this goes without question. And it reaches really out to all of you. You know, I said hundreds, but it's really thousands of times since 1994 that I've said, listen, we have a kid who's almost done with school. Can we raise some money so we can finish? And the countless golf tournaments, the countless dinners, you know, so, you know, thank you all for your participation in that and that support that you've given me. Okay, so this, you know, my family has really always been the magic ingredient, you know, really of my success. From mom and dad to my two daughters to Trevor, wherever Trevor is. Okay, Trevor, I see him in the back. You know, they were my motivation when working 15 hours a day, you know, almost every day, you know, just to try and ensure that my family had all the things parents want to bestow on their children. Not necessarily material. You know, we sort of had a family plan, Janet and I, that when we were working, when we first started the business, one weekend we would go and work at the business. We would all go, you know, Andrea, Justine, Sevi, we'd all be out there working. And then the next weekend we'd play. And that was kind of the plan. And, you know, and as we were doing that, I was thinking, what do I want these kids of mine to come away with? And it's really simple. I mean, it's hard work comes first, success later. Okay? I'll say it one more time just so Justin will know. Okay. Hard work comes first, success later. Okay? So they knew that you have to pay the price. Nothing is given to any of us in this world. I wish it was, because believe me, I tried to figure out every angle before I realized that there's only one way, and that's the right way. Okay? We also wanted them to come with family first. Okay? So when you go out in the world and do what you do, where is it, Andrea? Okay. Go back on what you've learned from your family and know that we've done this to this point, and now it's for you to continue, right? It's for you to continue, and when you have doubt, go back on what you've learned, right? So the last thing, and I still have to these two crazy girls of mine, I was telling them, hey, always do what's right. You know, pretty simple formula. Always do what's right. And, you know, sometimes we don't know how to gauge that. And what we've done that day, that month, that year, but it's really simple. I used to tell them, look in the mirror, okay? That'll tell you if you've been a success that day, if you've done right, you'll know. Because you can BS everybody in this room, but you can't bullshit it, right? So if you look in that mirror and you can feel good about what you've done, you're okay. I hope you plug your ears. Okay, so, okay. Really, Janet, you want to come up here, honey? Come on, let's bring her up this way. Okay, but Janet is the most important key to my success. And I invite her up here because she should really get all the credit and accolades and recognition, really not I. So, I know you just clapped for her, but would you please clap for her? You can sit down. No, you can stay up here. Okay, and now on to the reason we are here, the Maestro Award. First of all, I want to thank Jorge and his team for all their work and efforts. It's a just and honorable banner you carry, Jorge. So thank you for that, and please continue recognizing the folks out there that are doing a great job and continue to work hard, and it's nice to sometimes be recognized. So, Jorge, thank you. I've been aware for probably, I think, at least 7 years of the Maestro Award and its significance. And I know the stature of past recipients that have been entrusted with this great honor. But remember the part I said I was a tough guy? So anyway, well, I never thought I'd be considered for it. You know, it's one of those things that you hear people get and you say, yeah, that's cool. That'd be really neat to get. So, with that being said, I'm deeply honored in the presence of family, friends, and professional colleagues to be recognized as a recipient of the Maestro Award. Thank you for all helping me celebrate in this grand occasion. And with that, I'm going to have a drink. Thank you very much.